didn't know I can't have anything to share. I didn't know which.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6:30, and I will call this regular meeting of the Burnsville City Council to order. It is our tradition to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we invite you to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have announcements for our upcoming meetings and 2 proclamations. Council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, April 7th, and Tuesday, April 21st at 6:30 p.m. We have a work session scheduled for Tuesday, April 14th at 6:30 p.m. And we have a special work session Tuesday, April 21st at 4:30 p.m. And this is for the city manager's performance evaluation. All meetings are held here in the council chambers, except for the meeting of April 21st for the city manager's performance evaluation. That will be held in conference room D. I will read the first proclamation from here and then the second proclamation from the dais. And the first one is for Safe Digging Month in Minnesota. Whereas each year, Minnesota's underground utility infrastructure is jeopardized by unintentional damage by those who fail to call 811 to have underground lines located prior to digging. Undesired consequences such as service interruption, damage to the environment, and personal injury and even death are the potential results. Whereas Gopher State 1 call promotes 811, the national call before you dig number, which provides professional excavators and homeowners to a simple number to reach Gopher State 1 call to request utility line locations at the intended dig site. Whereas through education of safe digging practices, professional excavators and homeowners can save time and money, keeping Minnesota safe and connected by making a simple call to 811 in advance of any digging project, waiting the required amount of time, respecting the marked lines by maintaining visual definition throughout the course of the excavation, and finally digging with care around the marks. And whereas Gopher State 1 call serves the citizens of Minnesota at no cost to taxpayers, spreads the message that safe digging is a shared responsibility, and to know what's below, call 811 before you dig. Now, therefore, I, Elizabeth Couts, Mayor of the City of Burnsville, on behalf of the City Council, hereby proclaim the month of April 2015 to be Safe Digging Month in Minnesota, and encourage excavators and homeowners throughout Minnesota to always call 811 before digging. Safe digging is no accident. Proclaimed the 17th day of March 2014. Members of the council and citizens of Burnsville, we're so pleased to be putting forth this proclamation for Buck Hill's 60th anniversary of business in the city of Burnsville. Whereas in December of 1954, Chuck Stone and Nancy Campbell Stone first opened a ski area and chalet to the public on Buck Hill. And whereas in 1959, Buck Hill, Inc. issued stock to raise funds for larger capital projects such as the newly invented snowmaking machine, which transformed the hill, ensuring the business could remain open all season, no matter the snowfall. And whereas in 1961, the first mechanical lift was installed, and in 1965, Chuck Stone formed the present-day Buck Hill ski team to train local junior racers to compete in the USSA Central Division Region 1 program. And whereas in 1969, the Stones persuaded renowned Austrian skier Eric Sailer to become director of the racing program, which drew national attention as they groomed nearly a dozen U.S. ski team members over the years, including Lindsey Vonn and Christina Kosnick. And whereas Buck Hill adopted snowboarding in 1980s, mountain bike trails and bike rental systems in 1994, and snow tubing in a full-service lodge in 2001. And whereas more than 170,000 skiers come to Buck Hill each year, which now boasts 16 runs and 8 lifts, putting Buck Hill on the national and global stage. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Elizabeth Kautz, Mayor of the City of Burnsville, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the year 2015 as Buck Hill's 60th anniversary, and call upon the residents of Burnsville to celebrate this milestone of this valuable business and asset in our community. Proclaimed this 17th day of March 2015. And we are also proud because one of our council members, Councilmember Keeley, is on one of the ski teams at Buck Hill. Am I correct?
Correct.
And
Challenge Ski League.
yes, and your wife is also a longtime skier and on one of the teams at Buck Hill.
Yes,
So did you guys do well this year?
we did. Both teams did well.
Both team. I'd like to now call Don McClure from Buck Hill to come and accept this proclamation. Don, you've been with the organization for such a long time. I mean, as long as I've been mayor, you've been the general manager of Buck Hill. And we're so proud that you're here. And I know that Jessica has a meet tonight, and Mr. Eric Sailer has a team in.
Eric is out coaching as we speak.
I know it, and Nancy is skiing up in Canada.
Exactly.
So, Ben, you're here, so
Right.
thank you so much,
Right.
and we're very proud of all of the things that you do, and I mean, the Burnsville grown business.
Exactly.
Thank you,
Thank
and
you.
it's a great asset.
And we look forward to the next 60.
Okay,
right.
thank you so
Thank you.
much. The next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. This is the opportunity for anyone in the audience to address the council on an item that is not in a printed agenda, not in application form, that will be coming before us at a future date. Is there anyone who wishes to address the council? Anyone who wishes to address the council? Seeing no one, we will move on. The next is for emergency items only, and this is additions to the final agenda. Ms. Johnston, any emergency items to come before the body?
None from staff, Madam Mayor.
Members of the council? Okay, may I, now we move to the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a group of items that's considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. However, an item can be removed from the consent agenda for a separate discussion and vote. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes an item on the consent agenda to be removed for a separate discussion and vote? Ms. Johnston?
None from staff, Madam Mayor.
Council?
Madam Mayor, I would like to remove item I for a separate discussion and vote.
Okay, and I would like to remove K for a separate discussion and vote. And may I have a motion for the balance, please?
So moved.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Nguyen. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay, and the motion carries. Councilmember Sherry, this is a resolution to accept K-9 vest donation from Vested Interest in K-9s, Inc.
Madam Mayor and Council and citizens, it's not often we get a warm and fuzzy item on our agenda, but we have one tonight. And it's my understanding that Officer Hasselman has brought Rex to accept this generous donation from Vested Interest in K-9s.
Oh, this is wonderful. And so, is Rex coming to accept? Please. Yes, and I believe that Captain Benke is going to be assisting with Rex receiving the vest. Hello, Rex. And Rex is so wonderful. Our canine team really helps a great deal with all the work that needs to be done. So, so are you putting it on, Rex?
Actually, this vest is Echo's vest, and since this dog hasn't been properly trained with the fitting of the vest, we won't be able to put him on him tonight. But as soon as he gets his custom-made vest, which will be soon, we can maybe come back for it.
Okay, so,
Okay.
very good. But this is Echo's vest.
Yeah.
This is Echo's vest.
Oh, this is, okay, this is, and then, okay, so, and Rex will receive his once it arrives, but he needs to be fitted. Okay, oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for bringing Rex in, and I know that our citizens and everyone enjoys seeing our canine.
Fun with.
I'll play with it.
Okay. And Madam Mayor, if I may add, I had the true joy of riding with Officer Hasselman and Rex is a very good dog. He's a very good dog.
Very good. So, Councilmember Sherry, would you like to make the motion to
Yes.
adopt the resolution and
I-
accept the canine vest?
I so move.
Second.
Councilmember Sherry makes the motion, second by Councilmember Keeley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and the motion carries. Thank you, and thank you for bringing in Rex. The next item is one that I support wholeheartedly, but I think it bears for us to pull it and for our citizens to know about this wonderful partnership that we have. This is to authorize the project and approve the membership with national purchasing partners for the addition of the splash pad at the Lions Playground at Cliff Fen Park. And we have with us, the Lions are here, but if Mr. Schultz would come in and show us and the citizens of our community what the splash pad is going to look like, where it's going to be located, and then, of course, the Lions, some of the members of the Lions Club are here to support the project as we continue to move forward. Mr. Schultz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members. I'm very pleased to share a little background information about our continuing partnership with the Burnsville Lions Club. Last year, you may recall, we received a $70,000 donation from the Lions Club to pursue this project. And tonight, if you approve this item, you will kind of kick off the project, and we will move on to final design. Is this up on your screens right now?
Yep.
This is Cliff Fen Park, and up is to the north, and you will see off to the west or the left side of the existing playground is where we would put the new splash pad equipment. And we have a little diagram of what that would look like, an illustration. This isn't exactly it. We've been making a few tweaks to it, but it will be very similar to this. So it's about 2,000 square feet, and it will have approximately 15 different stations where kids and teens will be able to enjoy the water. And so it's a wonderful addition to the park. This item will go on to Parks Commission review April 6th and then come back to you to approve a contract at your April 21st meeting. So we have lots of folks in purple here this evening. Those are the colors of the Burnsville Lions.
Yes.
And in honor of them, I'm wearing my purple this evening. So I don't know if any of the Lions members represented would like to come up and address the council.
Yeah, our president of the Lions Club, Mr. Knudsen, Lion Knudsen, would you come up and make a few words? They've been always present when we have these items come before us, and welcome.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm Steve Knudsen, the president of the Burnsville Lions, and I'm always happy to address this group and tell the city how much we are committed to continue to partner on service needs for the city. Our club will be celebrating its 50th anniversary next year, and we want to continue to grow the club. So anybody that goes to an eyeglasses box collection, pick up one of these brochures and read it, learn a little bit about us, We meet the second and the fourth Monday of the month at Mary Mother of the Church. Come and visit us. We'd like to tell you more about us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So one of the things, Mr. Schultz, if I'm looking at this concept, it looks like you have 3 different stations. I'm looking to the right of the design. It looks like for little toddlers.
That's correct. You see.
And then you have more like teenagers over on the left side, on the far left. And it looks like you have a transition area. But is that how it's going to be designed?
It's a very intentional design, and you see kind of the modified 8, and the area to the right is for the toddlers, and of course you want them off in kind of a separate area because it can be kind of active down there. And then as you get into the center part, it's designed more for family activities, all ages. And then as you get further to the left or the west side, in this case, it will be more active teen areas. Actually, these are water cannons that kids can spray each other with, and we're actually going to move those a little further to the left side. It's a little more active. So that's why I say there's a couple of tweaks that we still hope to make to these plans. But the final product will look very similar.
Okay, very nice. It is very intentional. When I looked at it, I said, okay, there's all the little people are further away from the teenagers that are a little bit more rambunctious. Okay, thank you very much. Members of the council, any questions for Mr. Schultz?
Oh, fantastic plan.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please, to authorize the project and approve the membership with National Purchasing Partners for the addition of a splash pad at Cliff Bend?
So move.
Second.
Councilmember Sherry makes the motion, second by Councilmember Keeley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose, nay, and the motion carries. Thank you so much to the Lions. Thank you to our staff for all of the hard work and making this project come forward. Mr. Schultz, is this going to be implemented as soon as we go through all of the approvals? Is it this summer or fall?
My apologies, I forgot kind of an important piece of
Yes,
information.
because you know people are wondering about all of this.
People are calling us already. If the weather cooperates, we hope to have the facility open in July.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Schultz. All right. We now move on to the regular agenda, and the first item on the regular agenda is a public hearing, and this is for resolution adopting second half of the 2014 Code Enforcement Assessment. Presenting this evening is Mr. Chris Forsland, our Licensing and Code Enforcement Coordinator. Mr. Forsland.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Before us here, we have the second half of 2014 special assessments, and for the viewing audience and anybody who's maybe sitting out there, what I'm going to do is just do a brief overview of our process and our for noticing. Again, this hearing is for any outstanding special assessment fees for license and code enforcement that were invoiced or are past due from July 1st of 2014 to the end of 2014, following our policy 5.020, special assessments. We sent out all our required notices for that time period to all the property owners that are scheduled or had past due code violations and assessments. The assessments, of course, are to collect any expenses incurred by the city to enforce our ordinances. Notices were sent out again on February 25th to each property owner for any unpaid amount, as well as letting them know that there was an open house that we were going to have to try to resolve some of these issues prior to this hearing. The hearing was held, or the open house was held on March 4th. Any person who, or property owner who had a pending assessment was, of course, offered to attend. We had 2 that attended that meeting, of which we did resolve it. Then the assessment rolls that you have in front of you are estimated right now. Just before I came in here, since we had our resolution hearing, we have collected $5,211 off that amount. So the balance we're looking at is about $21,411. So it's pending at this time. And note in our background there, does not include the Arbor Vista amount of $860 because of the litigation that's going on right now.
Okay.
I'd also like to mention, we did receive one written request for an appeal, and I'm not sure if we have anybody out, doesn't look like it, anybody out there from
Birdsville Marketplace?
Burnsville Marketplace. I turned my page there. But I'd still like to address that issue a little bit. The property owner received sufficient knowledge these were related to mowing charges that were incurred by the city. And our records clearly indicated that she did get notice in an approved fashion. We followed our process and procedure. In her response, she claims she didn't get that record. Well, we did find that record today and did satisfy that she did get notice on there. So my recommendation is that the pending assessment stand at this point in time. So.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Forsland? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Forsland.
Thank you.
We've been going through each of these, and so we're very well aware of all of the assessments that are before us, and so thank you very much. This is really a lot better than it was last year.
Yes, it is.
So very nicely done.
Thank you.
You're getting a lot of results from your first notices.
We're being very careful. Staff are doing a great job, too.
Yeah, so thank you very much to you and your team.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate it. Members of the council, this is a public hearing, and I will now open this public hearing. Is there anyone to speak to this item? Anyone to speak to this item? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Members of the council, your pleasure.
Motion to approve.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion. Second by Councilmember Nguyen. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Oppose, nay, and the motion carries. Members of the council, there are no other items to come before us this evening, and a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Sherry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, and the motion carries. Good night, and thank you for being with us.